This is iRacing.
Claridge and Nieva are up to 2 wins each. With few points separating them, will a new track make the difference? Let's find out as we get ready to watch Round 5 of the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legend Series. You'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes, our director, Christian Duploy, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Ryan, this is a newer track to iRacing, but it's been a part of the North American scene for a long time.
Yeah, this fantastic Portland track has been around for a long time, like you mentioned, Joe. It's hosted a whole range of series from IndyCar to the SCCA and IMSA as well, other series as well in the past. And as you see on the screen right now, it's a 9-turn track, and it's 1.93 miles in length. Your best passing opportunities is down to turn 1, and then after turn 1 you've got that twisty section, turn 3 and 4, and then the other twisty section heading on to 5, and that run up the back straight heading down to turn 6 and 7, where you can possibly make a move, but it requires you to get a great run. And you've got 6 and 7, which can catch you out because you're just going so fast, and then you slow down and the car just gets a little bit twitchy, so you've got to be very careful and precise through there. And then you've got the final couple of corners, turn 8 and 9. Turn 9, the exit, if you get a great run, you can carry that speed down the straight and possibly make a move on someone, but you've got to be close and you've got to be precise. And I think today with this layout of the track as well, you've got to have a lot of patience and timing your moves.
Going to be a little bit tougher without that chicane to try and get those passes done. That said, it will be heavy braking with these cars down into 1 without a doubt. So hopefully that'll offer some out-braking opportunities for these cars. Now, as for the championship situation, I had touched on it a little bit. Nieva and Claridge both have 2 wins apiece, and that makes them only 7 points apart from one another. Now, watch out for if I can speak, Nikolakaki down there in 3rd. He has always been close for the past couple seasons, but doesn't seem to have the rub of the green, unfortunately. So he could be ready to spoil the party here today if things go his way. From there, Verbruggen and Ho in a close battle for 4th position as well. And look at the tie between Seb Clapper and John Olsen. Of course, that is Seb Tixier, but he's changed his name in the sim this season for a little bit of fun. No, not related, of course, to Kurt Clapper, who's actually cracked into the top 10 of the F1 standings. But that's the F1 drivers here. Ryan, why don't you take us through the F2 standings?
Absolutely. So in the F2 standings at the moment, as you see right there, it's got Mikel Zabala leading with 2nd place, 3 points behind is Zen Carr, and then you've got Thomas Willehausen in 3rd, a further 4 points behind, so the top 3 still really tight at the moment. And then you've got David Tomaski in 4th, and then Roberto Pangrazzi in 5th, and then 6th you've got Jose Lamas, and then 7th you've got Sandeep Banerjee, and then 8th you've got Tobias Hermvey, who won't be around today, unfortunately, due to being on vacation. And then you've got Mats London in 9th, and then rounded out the top 10, you've got Josephine Becker rounded out the top 10. So the F2 driver standings is still really close at the top, and it's all to play for.
Of course, let's not forget that we've got the Nations Cup in this series. Now, it's interestingly Spain and Italy up at the top. You can see United Kingdom still a bit far down right now. You would think with Mick Claridge giving points for that country that they would be a little higher up, but they seem to be struggling with the other drivers. They're, in fact, in a very close fight between themselves, Hong Kong, United States, and one that's a bit new to me here, Sao Tome and Principe. So I need to dig into that and see where exactly that is. But they've clearly got some good drivers here in this series. But Nations Cup, definitely one that is just as hard fought in this series. Real quick for our new viewers, Ryan, why don't you run us down the race details?
Yep, so the race details for today. This is the 5th round of this 12-round season, and the race length for today around this Portland track is 19 laps. With these cars, it'll probably feel like, well, much longer than that. And then it's open setups, so you're free to make any adjustments that you want on your setup. And there's no spare car, there's no fast repair, so if you wreck out of the race or have too much damage, your race is over, unfortunately. And then it is a drive-through at a 17x or over, and then when you get to 25x, it is a disqualification, as you see on the screen right now. So you get to that 25x or over, your race is done.
And thankfully, I don't think there's much in the way of a paved runoff to really rack those up. That said, you can see this track is rather high speed with a lot of flowing sections. So I'm sure if you make a mistake, you're going to find yourself quickly heading off into the grass. Now, interestingly, Nicola Kaki is our quickest right now. So pole position for him doesn't give any bonus points, but maybe that could give him a chance to finally get that victory. Jorge Nieva actually hasn't set a time yet. Now, is Mick Claridge actually here? Yes, he is. Oh, interesting here, Ryan. Mick Claridge only 7th place after both of his laps done.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that, considering that Mick is normally one of the quickest guys with this car. He's been around in this car and the community for a long time, but maybe struggling with the track, maybe not used to this Portland track, or maybe it's just not suiting him, but very surprised by that. So it'll be a bit of a job for Mick to get through this field day today. And as I look at Jorge Nieva is probably one of the drivers, Joe. I don't know if you agree. He's absolutely improved massively in this car over the past few seasons, and he's been into championship contention for maybe the past season or two.
I just saw information in the chat from him. It looks like he accidentally had the wrong setup in the car, so it had a ton more fuel. That explains why he's slower, but not completely off the pace. He has already been pushed down to 10th, actually, as we saw Gary Ho get his lone lap in because he missed his first one, and that bumped him down. So Mick Claridge might not even start in the top 10, as now we're watching Henry Morse come around the last lap, or last few corners here. And, excuse me, no, he's at the start of the lap. This is coming up towards turn 5. 4 and 5, and on to the backstretch. This is going to be fascinating, Ryan, because I have to imagine this car around that back straight probably going to be a bit scary because it's not exactly straight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like the modern Indy cars or open wheel cars you have now with loads of downforce. It's down to the driver, and more having to be very precise and smooth of your steering inputs and also your brake and throttle inputs. So yeah, I think it's all looking after the cars and also the tires as well. If you slide too much with these tires as well, they can overheat slightly, and it takes them a while to kind of just get back in that zone of having grip in them.
Now, because the laps are so short, that's why we see so many drivers that are still out qualifying, because they've waited to start their laps, including this man, Jorge Nieva. Now, let's see, 1:06. Ooh, yeah, if he gets around for his second one, it's going to be tight. But his first one is good enough for the front row, and it's 1/2 tenth off of the pole. In fact, the top 4 are separated by 1/10 and a half themselves, all the way from Kaki to Nieva to Morse to Verbruggen. It is going to be a tight front 2 rows.
Absolutely, and it's right on board with Nieva, and this hairpin is such a pain to get right, because it's one of those corners that you want to get on the power early mid-corner, but if you do that, you just end up getting sideways. But at the moment, it's looking like a smooth one at the moment, Joe.
Let's see if he can improve. I'm showing about 3/10 quicker, which would easily put him on pole Question is, can he take it home from here around turn 8 and 9 onto the main straight, getting that throttle down oh so critical. You can see it's a curved acceleration zone. With these cars, that has got to be tricky. He'll have just a couple seconds left. It is a 103.4. That is good enough for pole. He has blasted our top 4, who were at one time separated by less than the blink of an eye, but now he has set himself apart. Oh, this is going to be fun to watch today here, Ryan, between that top group. But Nieva looks like he's really set himself apart.
Absolutely, Nieva sending a message to the rest of the field. If you want to challenge for this win, you'll need to give me a challenge and try and get by me on the start of lap 1. But as we go to the grid, Joe, here is your grid at the moment.
Yep, Nieva, as we said, on the pole. Nicola Kaki going to be starting next to him. What can he do to try to stop him from running away? Maurice will start in 3rd with Verbruggen in P4. From there, Arturas Kundalis is 5th as John Olsen starts in the 6th position. Gerard Borel, I haven't seen him as much in past seasons. He'll put in a good time there of 104.1 for 7th, whilst Olsen returns starting from 8th. Gary Ho, in a decent position for him, but with his championship position, he probably hoped for better than 9th as Bill Tyler rounds out our top 10.
And starting in 11th place is Mick Claridge, which is quite surprising, with Gary Quayle in 12th, Jeff Saunders in 13th, for Kurt Clapper 14th, and then Josephine Becker in 15th, with Diego Snyder 16th. 17th is Mickey Friesen, 18th is Tobias Hernby, who I thought was away on vacation. Cam Porter 19th, Matthew Bodsley rounding out the top 20.
From there, 21st sees Bjorn Ackerman, flanked by Robert Plumley, 22nd. Thomas Tuba starts 23rd. Zen Carr, still one of my favorite names in the series, starts 24th. Henry Verumaki will be 25th. And it's Paul Ferrer, who's been around for a long time, starts 26th today. David Tomaski, 27th. Jason Clapper and the rest of the field in behind him as we get the green flag, and we are now taking off into the first corner. What is going to happen at turn 1, where it's a bit longer of a run, but maybe a smoother braking zone for our drivers as they head into that first corner? It looks like Nieva will hold on to the lead. Kaki in behind him, and Kevin Verbruggen in 3rd.
Yep, and this is the kind of dream start that Jorge Nieva wanted, I think, getting off the line and getting down to turn 1 in the lead, because then he can control the pace, he can control, just get into that rhythm. But as everyone's been relatively clean so far, coming through the twisty section of this track, and heading onto this kind of back straight section, heading up to that turn 6 and turn 7 section where the cars can get a bit sketchy, so hopefully everyone keeps it clean.
Curious to see if this will be any sort of passing zone down into 6. Well, as somebody is completely off there, and that is going to be John Olsen. Looks like he catches out another driver, kind of drags them into the grass. That's the number 4. And that was Mick Claridge, who had already made up quite a bit of ground, but he falls backwards. It has been a ruinous day at the start here for Mick Claridge.
Yeah, Mick Claridge not having the best day lap 1. It's not what he wanted, but I think if you're Mick Claridge, you want to try and get through the field, but you've got to be very, very patient. Oh, someone's off in the background.
Oh, and that was Seb. That was Seb Tixier. Looks like a few other drivers have gone with him. Not sure what happened there. Very interesting view with Seb Clapper. Unfortunately, his creativity with his face cam, unfortunately, has not helped him with cleanliness today, but he'll get going once again. And thankfully, does not have to worry about the safety of himself sitting in that virtual car. Henry Morse, in the meantime, down 1 from where he started, still within the top 5, sitting in 4th and chasing on Verbruggen, Kaki, and Nieva, who have not separated by much.
Yep, as we come to the end of the second lap, it's still Nieva leading, but as we look at Morse at the moment, down in 4th as well. Had a good qualifying, and I think he's not doing anything too eager at the moment. He's not in a rush to try and gain positions, but I think he's just wanting to let this race pan out. As further back, it looks like Mick Claridge is making the move on Bill Tyler into turn 1, and can he get it slowed down? He runs. No, Mick. That was just wetting a bit too hot there, and that's such an easy thing to do, Joe, because you're going so quick, and you're suddenly having to slow down with these cars that don't have any aerodynamic downforce.
Somebody else off, Gerard Burrell, goes for a ride coming through turn 3 for a moment and gets back on. But man, there are a lot of drivers that seem to be struggling here with this track. Now, what's interesting is I don't think Claridge actually lost a position and all that. If he may have got past, no, Harvey, excuse me, is a lap down. So that's not a car that has gone by him. The other cars behind were just a little bit too far back as we check out Jeff Saunders, who is another one in that group chasing on Claridge. Everybody trying to line up down the main straight, almost like Monza, this long drag strip that takes you down to turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming down the home straight, that's still Nieva leading from Cohier, but looking at Saunders at the moment, and it looks like he's trying to make a move.
Nieva. Sorry to cut in. Nieva's lost the lead, and he is down to 4th. I'm not sure what has cost him, but Kaki's now your leader. Verbruggen and Maurice are 2nd and 3rd. Sorry to cut in there, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just looking at the replay to see what happened to Nieva, and he just looks like he done the same mistake as Mick Claridge. I think he just carried a bit too much speed into turn 1 and just went in too hot. Looking at the replay, he ran wide a little bit. Thankfully, he managed to keep it on the track.
Sadly, we've lost Cam Porter and Bjorn Ackerman so far. Bjorn kind of has notoriously bad luck these past few seasons, and then Cam Porter, unfortunately, one of our regulars and a crowd favorite, has prematurely exited the race. Watching Nieva down the main straight, continuing to pull the slipstream of our top 3, but it does look like Henry Maurice has a good run here. Question is he going to make a move for 2nd? No. As they break for turn 1, Verbruggen will hold that P2.
Yep, and I think Maurice decided it was better just to be sensible and not do anything silly, because he did get a run, but there's no point doing anything silly into turn 1, because as we've seen so far, it's easy for you to overshoot the corner and run wide.
Switching back now through turn 4 and on to the back straightaway. As we come back to Mickey Friesen, was complaining about his poor qualifying today, trying to make up for it, but he's under attack as down the inside goes Burrell, who's also on a bit of a recovery drive, but they chase Jeff Saunders as now they get on the throttle. You can see the car squirming as the track weaves back and forth onto the back straight.
It was a big contact. How that didn't end up in a big incident, I'll never know.
Great job by everybody involved to keep that from becoming a massive accident. Cars are going so fast, touching wheel to wheel is undoubtedly a death knell in most situations. Meanwhile, back to Henry Maurice once again. And I think Saunders back in the mid-pack did have an incident once we cut away. But watching Henry Maurice now come through turn 2. Long, never-ending right-hander there, 1 and 2. They then switches back in one of the few left-handers on this track into turn 3 and set you up for what is relatively new turn 4. Changed quite a bit ago in this stage, but definitely newer relative to the age of the track that sets us up for the run on the back straight. And Maurice, we might be looking back, but he's looking forward because he's looking to the inside of Verbruggen.
Yeah, and Verbruggen went slightly defensive there, just defended his territory, and I think Maurice decided not to push the issue as well, because through that section there before the final couple of corners, you can't really make a move, otherwise you either run wide or end up having a big accident. But as they come across the line, rider on board with Nieva, still in 4th place, and I think Nieva will be kicking himself for that mistake.
He's still waiting and watching, and this seems very typical for Nieva to sit behind like that and see what comes to him of the race. He's a patient driver. I went and checked. His mistake was just going too deep into turn 1, it looks like. So nothing hugely dramatic. Just we've seen a number of drivers, it seems like, Ryan, that don't quite have the braking down into that first corner.
And it's such a difficult corner to slow down for, because, like I mentioned earlier, you're going so quick down the home straight, carrying loads of speed, and all of a sudden you're having to slow down really quickly. And these cars can compress a little bit and get a bit twitchy on the braking, so maybe Nieva was just caught out by that, as Verbruggen runs slightly wide there through 6 and 7.
Maurice is able to duck underneath. He takes the apex away. Now he's got to get the throttle down, though. This is perhaps an opportunity for Jorge. who finds himself nearly side by side, but he tucks back in behind him, didn't get the throttle down as smoothly as he would have liked. All three cars, nose to tail. Verbruggen wants it back. He goes to the inside, down to the break-in of one. Has he slowed up in time is the question. Oh, not quite. He goes deep and back underneath. Henry Morse retakes the position. Now Nieva could have a chance to get up to P3. Oh, they almost make contact, but they'll manage to stay out of each other. And just like that, Verbruggen lose 2 spots in less than a lap.
Yep, and while these three drivers of Morse, Nieva and Verbruggen scrapping once themselves, they're just allowing Nicola Cocky in front of him to just slowly pull away and build up a bit of a gap. He's up to nearly about a second, but further back, looking at Mickey Friesen trying to get by as well. Can't get the move done, but heading into the hairpin, if he can get a good exit, he might be able to carry that speed and get on the power early. It looks like he might have a good run, Joe.
Let's see what happens down towards turn 6. Mickey Friesen has been involved in a lot of action, and he doesn't want to be involved in any more action as he backs it up and allows Seb through. Continuing, this is definitely, I think, one of my more favorites that I've seen Seb send us. He often does a lot of fun things with his webcam, but this is one of the more interesting ones I think I've ever seen as we fly down the main straight. He's chasing on Josephine Becker. This is for 14th. Seb up 14 spots appropriately so far in the race.
Yeah, a decent recovery from him so far, and yeah, I have to agree. I do like the fun stuff that Seb does, and it does make me chuckle from time to time, and yeah, it's good to see someone like him having a bit of fun in the community and just in general.
Yeah, he makes sure that he doesn't lose sight of the enjoyment that you're supposed to get out of racing. As serious of a competitor as he is, he definitely makes sure that he has a good time with it, doesn't lose the love. As we watch them come around the back straight one more time. By the way, just ahead of us, not too far up the road, Mick Claridge has already made his way back up to 7th. So he's been making great inroads up there. But this is a close fight being led by Gary Quellen at the front of this train. So what happens to them down the drag strip up to turn 1 this time? Oh, speaking of Mick, there you go. He's through on Gary O. Make that 6th place now. Now he's about 6.5 seconds off the lead, so I'm not sure whether or not we'll see him actually catch the leaders. That's going to be a difficult task as we are currently on lap 10 right now out of 32. I know we have a timer up there, but it is a lap-based race as we continue to watch Seb Clapper here, or Seb Tixier. I'm going to keep saying that if I keep looking at his name here on a thing. Seb Tixier is who that actually is, chasing on the group ahead of him. Matthew Maudsley in there behind Gary Quellen as well. Anybody going to have a chance? Ooh, Josephine Becker's got a really good run, but she lifts early, and that almost backs up Clapper or Tixier into her gearbox.
Yep, it was like Josephine was kind of half thinking about going for a run or going for a move, sorry, but decided against it. And it was like Seb might have a run down this home straight, but is he going to be close enough to make a move? He's close enough in the slipstream, but again just runs out of road.
But there might be a chance to take advantage of those ahead of him. Put to the outside seems to be a real problem, and Matthew Maudsley discovers that. He loses 2 positions, maybe 3 here. That's a fight with Mickey Friesen, but Friesen may have been rebuffed. Yeah, he's able to hold him off for now. So I guess big note for this one. Whoa, as we got a car sideways, and that was Friesen, who unfortunately comes to a halt just outside of turn 4. Loses a bunch of spots. But I was going to say there, Ryan, it seems like if you're caught on the outside of 1 and 2, you're not just losing one position, everybody's going by.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the nature of this track as well. Even if you make a slight mistake, maybe just missing your apex or turning ever so slightly, that will give the cars behind you an opportunity to make a move, and we've seen that several times in the race so far from the likes of Seb Clapper or Seb Tixier and Mick Claridge and the other drivers as well. So it does invite opportunity, or passing opportunities, this track. If you slip up, there's always drivers want up there to pounce and pick up any positions that are available.
Yes, second place available for Nieva because Maurice has been dealing with him, and now he's starting to show himself in the mirrors, coming down to turn 6. Doesn't actually make a serious attempt into that swift chicane. Heavy braking zone in these cars, but it's still so fast through there. Look at him get right up to the rear, can almost touch those exhaust pipes out the front of the car. And then we once again get on the throttle, and he starts to pull. These cars do get going 185, 190 miles an hour before they get on the brakes. But look at that defensive move, Ryan. Henry does not feel safe right now.
Yeah, he's slightly going defensive as well, and I think he's starting to feel the pressure as well. So Maurice is trying to chase down Cocky in front of him, but feeling the pressure from the Ava behind as well. So a bit of a freeway scrap for the lead at the moment, but not too far away in this pack as well. You've got Kevin Verbruggen as well. So if any of these 3 cars in front of him slip up or collide with each other, Kevin will be happy to pick up 3 positions. But as they come down to 6 and 7, it looks like Maurice has got a run. While he try and go for a move, nope, he decides against it.
Yeah, that's a good point that I've been watching here. Nieva versus Maurice, but Cocky is under threat himself. It's just nobody seems to quite get close enough when they need to. You can see him really get the throttle down well out of that final corner. Oh, but this is close. The 9 is starting to reel him in. Maurice wants that lead, no doubt, but he lifts by the time they come up to the braking. He is making himself ever more vulnerable to Jorge, and behind them, Verbruggen is still giving watch. It's not a 3-car fight. It is still a 4-car tussle for the overall lead of this race.
It is, and it was right from the rear of the Cocky's car as well. Looking at Morrison.
Down the inside. He mugs him. My goodness, Nieva just completely took him by surprise, but it doesn't work out. And Maurice is back through. I didn't see that coming. I don't think Henry did either.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought I saw a move going on in the background there, and I have to say that was a very good opportunistic move by Nieva, but he just didn't get it slowed down enough. And I think Maurice as well saw it coming and done a bit of a switchback as well, and got a great run in the exit of the hairpin, and retook the position. So yeah, it's getting a bit feisty up at the front here, Joe.
So that actually separates them a little bit now as we see a replay of the pass attempt. Yeah, look at that. Just slides it down the inside, but it was too narrow and off the corner. Henry says, I'll take that back, thank you very much. Well, Mick Claridge, fastest lap of the race. No surprise, he has been reeling in the leaders time and again as each lap ticks by, but he's back by about 5 seconds still. We're now nearly halfway through the race. He's going to have to make up a large gap once he catches and passes Kundalis.
He is, as we look at Nieva as well, as still stuck behind the Morrison Cocky in 3rd. But again, it's just trying to find that passing opportunity, as it looks like Nikolai might have just maybe missed his turning points slightly into turn 6, but Maurice closes right up under braking. It looks like Maurice might have a great run as well. Otherwise, Nieva as well. So the top 3 have all got a great run in each other, or Maurice and Nieva have. But as it's all closing up, his Nieva. That was a bit of a late defensive block by Maurice, I think. But I think he went for a move at the same time as Nieva's going for a move on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that was a defense so much as an attack. And Cocky's trying not to lose that P2. Wow, that's the first time we've seen a successful defense around the outside. If you've been had your pocket picked there into the first corner by the car behind you. So Cocky at least stopping it at 2nd place. Nieva really wants to get through. Verbruggen still right behind them, as well as once again, they pick up the speed. The car's wiggling around as they try to get over the bumps of the curb coming through 4 and 5.
Yep, and it looks like Kevin Verbruggen's closing up into this battle as well now, but I think, I don't know, it might just be me, Joe, but if I was Kevin, I would just wait and just basically see what these guys in front of him are going to do, because I think if it was me, I would probably wait until maybe the final 5 or 10 laps to try and make a move. But if I'm Kevin, just wait where you are and just let it pan out.
Another move for 2nd down the inside of Cocky. Nieva manages to get through. Now ahead of them, they do have a little bit of lap traffic. It is Diego Schneider up the road ahead of them. So will this play an effect? Are they going to be able to successfully navigate without being interrupted? And Schneider goes completely off the track. So the answer is no, they will not be interrupted.
Yep, and as Morse is pulling away slightly there. He's got about half a second lead at the moment, but I think Neva, he won't be giving up for sure, and I think this race for the win, or battle for the win, sorry, will probably go right down to the final lap. But it's been a great race so far, and this Portland track it actually seems to be suiting his cars quite well, and I think it's been great races throughout the field.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This has been well suited to these cars that tend to like flowing tracks. But Nieva's going to go for a move down to the inside. You could just see it up ahead, and he's not able to sneak through. He wants back into the lead. And we have to remember, it was about 2-3 tenths quicker than the second place in qualifying. So theoretically, Jorge should be the fastest of this group, but he's just methodically waited until the right time to try and get his way back to the front.
Yeah, it's been a great drive by Neva so far. It's been a mature drive. He's not tried to do anything silly. He's just been taking the opportunities and gaining positions when they arise. And it's been, I think, like you said, Joe, Neva's been the quickest driver so far, as he proved in qualifying. So I think if he gets an opportunity, he'll try and retake the lead. And I think if I'm Neva, try and back off early for this corner and then get back on the power early just to try and carry that speed down the home straight. And as I say that, it looks like Neva might have a great run.
Let's see if this is the time where he gets back to that P1 spot. It's been a number of laps since he lost that position. We also see that battle a little farther down in the mid-pack there. Oh no, he leaves himself vulnerable. He went back to the racing line, and Cocky looks to the inside. Can't get the pass done. That said, I think I figured out why we're seeing Jorge start to be a little bit more aggressive at this stage. Speaking of which, almost gets into the back of Henry Morse there coming through turn 3. Guess who is now past Arturas Kundalis and has nothing separating him from this group of 4? It's that man, Mick Claridge, who now only has to worry about his own pace to catch up, and he's got to make up 4 seconds to get to the leader.
Yep, it's been a great recovery by Mick as well, and I think if Mick had a better qualifying, he would have been right up there in this lead battle. But anyway, it's been a great recovery by Mick, and if he can put in some good laps, some quick laps as well, and try and catch up to this pack in front of him, and with this pack in front of him holding each other up, it could give Mick an opportunity to close them down. But it's going to require Mick to be very, very precise and very smooth.
So if he can reel them in, and honestly, if they keep battling, I have a feeling that's going to be more than likely that he'll catch up to them. That could make for a fascinating 5-way fight for the win of this race. 13 laps to go. Nieva started out on the lead. He's back to second place, but that's after he had to make a couple passes to get here. He's trying to get the throttle down just that little bit sooner than the 9 car, but can't seem to do it. Will he have enough? Coming up to turn 6, the left-right chicane at the end of the back straightaway. Big defensive move from Morse, holding him off, and that's going to send him through the grass. Jorge Nieva able to hold on to it. Does he have a black flag, a slowdown flag for that? It looks like he may have got no, he does. He has a slowdown penalty for cutting the course.
Yeah, I was going to say, but by how much Nieva went wide there and cut, he might have gotten a slowdown penalty. It looks like Verbrogan's actually getting feisty as well now. Verbrogan, I think, has realised that Mick Claridge is not too far behind, as you see Mick in the background there. So these guys scrapping away. It's just going to allow Mick to close even further in now, and that even allow maybe Henry Morse to pull away.
And unsurprisingly, with Jorge having to give that time back as he almost again contacts Cocky, Nicola managed to sneak through on the main straight, so he's back into second place. Jorge down 1 position again. Claridge definitely getting closer. That last lap, a 1:03.8 for Claridge. Henry Morse only ran a 1:04.5 last lap. Mick is coming.
Yep, and Mick Claridge, when he senses an opportunity, and he sees the pack in front of him, he'll definitely start pushing. And again, we see Mick in the background there. He's a lot closer than he has been before, and that gap between him and Verbruggen is definitely coming down. So I think these guys are maybe realising it. The more they fight, the more that Mick's going to close down. But yeah, Nieva, as I say that, Mick Claris puts in the fastest lap of the race so far.
Wow. 1:03.5 now for Mick Claridge as we hop on board with him. It says Tuvalu, but that explains why we didn't see the UK up higher in the points, as he's taken some creative liberties with his country that he's claiming here in the sim, since that has been changed here in iRacing recently. Now you can select which country you want to be hailing from, as we got I think a lapped car going very, very slow and not in a good place for Mick.
Yeah, I think the back marker was trying to get out of the way without holding Mick up, and ran a little bit wide in the grass, but Mick doesn't get held up too much, so I think Mick will be happy with that. He's not been hampered. But further back, looking at Jason Clapper in 14th, and yeah, plenty of battles going on throughout the field further back. So
Jason, typically one of our drivers that climbs through the field. He's up 14 right now, but that is definitely Seb Tixier that has that hardest charger, up 19 currently. Kevin Verbruggen watching those in front of him, and that's a much bigger pack of lapped cars that they have reached. This is about to get wild up here as they have to battle one another while getting by all these cars.
And this is a tricky section to be in, because situation to be in, because you're in a battle for a possible win or possible podium, but you don't want to do anything too hasty in this pack when lapping lapped cars. So you've got to be thinking here. You want to try and get through the lap cars as quickly as possible without taking any silly risks.
Yeah, and it does seem like it did not work out for Nieva. He's dropped back to 2 seconds behind the lead, and now he's under attack from Verbruggen. He goes defensive to hold him off down a never-ending right-hander. Lapped cars trying to stay off to the side and make sure not to influence this. But again, they're in their own fight for position here at the first couple corners of the lap. It's Don Peak that was trying to give way as Nieva goes round the outside of the turn 4 hairpin. So does Verbruggen. They'll leave him behind. But again, they have lost a lot of time. It's still those 2 seconds behind Maurice and Cocky.
And look at Cocky now heading up to 6 and 7. I think he's still under pressure from Nieva as well, as actually has a lap car. But actually, as I say that, Nikolai's actually closed back up on Henry Morse now, so those lap day cars helping Nikolai for sure. So I wonder if Nikolai, if he gets an opportunity, he might try and make a move on Morse now. As we look at Nieva and Verbruggen heading down to turn 1, and it looks like Kevin's closing up on Jorge. Can he try and make a move into turn 1 and get it slowed down? It looks like he might be able to get the move done. If he can keep it tight in this double right-hander, he might be able to get it done. And as I say that, he does.
Which means there is now nothing separating Claridge from Nieva. Claridge 5th, Nieva 4th. This is bad news. Jorge had a chance to maybe come away with a much better point haul to separate himself from Mick in this race. But we might have a new different winner this season if Henry Morse can hold on to it. This might be his first win. I'll have to check to see if he's ever taken a victory before. The battle back on. Jorge not going to settle for this one. Goes for the move into 6, but gets rebuffed. Tries to cut back underneath. Still nothing there. Now he can definitely see that blue car of Mick Claridge in his mirrors. He knows that he has got to hustle.
He has indeed, and the time's running out as we've only got about 7 laps in this race, So Mick Claridge has definitely got to get a hustle on now, and as it looks like Jorge's got to make a move on Kevin into turn 1. Can he get the move? He's not full on side, and Verbruggen keeps the position rather.
I checked. Henry Morse has 2 podiums, but no wins yet. This would be his maiden victory if he could bring this one home, but Nicola Kocki's going to try and deny him And it's going to be close the way this one has been going. Mick Claridge tries down the inside of turn 4. No dice on that one, but he has made his intentions clear. He wants that spot.
Yeah, he does indeed, and he's not wasting any time now. He knows he's got to get a move on and try and make moves. As we look at Claridge underneath the trees, heading into 6 and 7 now, and then heading into turn 8. I think if Claridge can try and get a good run there, he's taking a wider entry, which can sometimes work, but I think he's just compromised his exit.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional. He was well off that apex, and he could have another shot here because they're about to go side by side for P3. Once again, Nieva around the outside. That's going to leave him vulnerable if Claridge can get underneath, way out to the outside off of turn 1. Somehow Nieva's holding on here. They nearly bang wheels through turn 2. That gives them the inside for turn 3. They are going to make contact off the course. Goes Kevin Verbruggen. Nieva carries on. He leaves the door open. Mick Claridge going to try and see if he can capitalize down into turn 4. Nothing doing there. Kundelis goes through on Verbruggen. Nieva holds on to 3rd.
Yeah, and I had a feeling that with Nieva and Verbruggen being so close together, I just had a feeling that there was going to be contact at some point, and unfortunately that happened. But Mick Claridge up into 4th place now, sniffing an opportunity to try and finish on the podium, which would be a great recovery drive by him. But looking at the replay, Joe, it just looks like, Nieva got a bit sideways there.
Yeah, I was going to say he slid out from the apex a bit. It wasn't a lot, but yeah, close racing, and maybe you could put a slight bit more blame on Jorge, but that was just one look from one perspective. So hard to say as we once again get the battle erupting down into turn 1. Claridge versus Nieva, but it's not for the win this time. And in fact, they are 4 seconds behind our leader. All this squabbling has cost them a chance to maybe go for the win. I think they're way too far back to try to run them down at this stage.
Yeah, 5 laps to go in this race, and I think that's pretty much it. As soon as the top 3 started squabbling amongst themselves and Claridge got involved, and when you add in that incident with Nieva and Verbruggen, I think it's basically ruined the chances of challenging for the win. But it looks like the final, or the battle for the final step on the podium, is between Nieva and Claridge at the moment, and it looks like Claridge looks to be the quicker driver at the moment, and he's just wringing the neck out of that car trying to make moves.
Just amazing what these two can do. And for Claridge, probably thrilled that he's still got a chance to maybe pull points over his rival. Nieva does not want to let him by without a doubt. Can he hold it around the outside like he did last time? Tires nearly off into the grass there. No, he cannot hold him back. Claridge has recovered all the way to 3rd when at one point he was in 14th.
It's been a great recovery drive by Mick, and we know how quick Mick can be in this car. And he's been around he's been racing in this car for a very, very long time, so he knows what it's like to race, what it's like to get good results in his car, and he knows what he has to do to get good results. So I think if Mick finishes at the podium, it'll be a great recovery by him. But I doubt Nieva will be giving it up without a fight for sure. But with 4 laps to go, well, basically 4 laps to go at the end of the line, I think as we look at the replay, and just Nieva gets a bit sideways mid-corner there, and it's nothing intense at all. It was just good hard racing.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the things that happens when you're racing that hard and that close for so long, unfortunately. Now, Verbruggen is still in 6th and could still get back into the top 5 as he's battling with Kundelis behind these guys. But yeah, it's definitely one of what could have been where a podium could have been added to his tally. Meanwhile, for the lead of the race with 3 laps to go now, 2.5 really, as Nicola Kaki hounds Henry Maurice to try and deny him his maiden win.
Yeah, and I think if you're Nikolai, I think if you get an opportunity and you get a run, you've got to go for the move and make the move straight away. You can't afford to be hanging around thinking, if I go too early, I shoot myself in the foot. Especially if Nikolai gets a great run here, he gets a bit sideways there, that'll compromise his exit. But Henry Maurice, what a drive by him to handle the pressure, and when he's got to the front, he's kept a cool head and he's not really made any mistakes. He's just been kind of basically just hitting his marks.
He knew the chance was there, saw the opportunity, has grabbed it with both hands. He's gripping it as hard as he can. Meanwhile, Verbruggen versus Koundelis sees Koundelis take the inside and defend off of Verbruggen, who is not able to make it stick. I do love seeing Arturis race in these vintage cars. He's one of those that has a modified rig as he's racing from a wheelchair. So that is hand controls that he is racing with right now. And again, you stick him in just about any car, he is wicked fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see Koundelis doing very well, considering the circumstances you mentioned, Joe. I mean, I know some other people that are race with hand controls, and you might think, oh, they don't have the feel of the pedals or anything like that. But I mean, when you look at Robert Wickens, for example, racing in real life, he uses hand controls, and he won a championship in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge series.
Exactly, making the best with what you got and showing you still have the speed, but Verbruggen feels like he's still quicker, and it does seem like he's close to there as they're going to go wheel to wheel down through turns 1 and into 2, but that outside line is just not working for the Dutch drivers. Koundelis holds him back once again. The Lithuanian just wants to at least grab a top 5 here today. Back to Henry Morse versus Nikola Kaki. Not as close as we've seen before, but look at this. We got lap traffic. Are they going to catch it in time? It's the last lap of the race. Just has to be good to the finish. Henry Morse coming off of turn 9. If he gets the throttle down safe, and he does, he is going to take his first ever win in the Grand Prix Legends Series here on the broadcast. Fantastic job by Henry Morse. Nikola Kaki was second, and Mick Claridge will get third by just 1/10 of a second over Nieva.
Yeah, get a fantastic recovery from Claridge after starting further back in the pack. And I think for Kevin Verbruggen, it might be a race of what could have been a bit of frustration there across the line.
Kurt Clapper going to finish what looks like 15th here. By the way, Seb Tixier up 19 spots for a top 10. Well done to him on that one, as Jason Clapper was up 16 to finish 12th as well. But Kurt down 1, interestingly, but still finishing in the top half of the field. As we watch Robert Plumley, looks like, and not surprising with how short a lap it is, only 18 going to finish all the laps of the race today, as the last of them now cross. And that takes us to our results for today's race. Henry Morse finally gets the W next to his name. He's going to be thrilled with that one. Nikola Kaki, I don't think he'll be too upset that he lost to him. He gave it his all and made him work for it. Still gets himself another podium. Claridge up to the podium from starting 11th and actually having to overcome an issue early in the race, going off track with a bunch of other cars. Nieva from pole to 4th. I don't think he's going to be happy with that, as Koundelis will be 5th. And it's Kevin Verbruggen finishing 6th today. Laust Olsen didn't really get to cover him. Glad to see him have a solid drive into 7th, as John Olsen, no relation there, will finish 8th. And then Bill Tyler 9th. And as we said, Seb Clapper from 29th to 10th today, Ryan.
Jared Burrell finishes in 11th, with Jason Clapper starting in 28th and finishing 12th, so a great drive by him. Gary Quellen finishes in 13th, with Matthew Maudsley 14th, Kurt Clapper in 15th, and then 16th you've got Robert Plumley with Thomas Tuber in 17th, and then you've got Henry Viramaki in 18th, and then Donald Peake 19th, and Thomas Willehausen finishing in 20th.
Then in 21st, a lap down, Mats Lenzen, as Zemcar finishes behind him. Paul Fair will be 23rd. Tobias Harnvey in 24th. David Tomaski, 2 laps down. I think he had a penalty as well in this race. 25th. Jeff Saunders, 26th. And then Gary Ho, 27th. Then you get into cars that had big problems. Mickey Friesen finishing in 28th. 5 laps down. DNFs from there on down. Josephine Becker, Diego Schneider, Cam Porter, and Bjorn Ackerman. And as we get ready to chat with some of our winners. Let's see who. Looks like we're going to be talking to Henry here. As Henry, congratulations. You finally got that first win, and it looked like you were made to work for it. How much pressure were you feeling inside the cockpit?
You know, I really didn't feel a ton of pressure just because I knew that if I won, it would be a total miracle. I've raced this car about a half a dozen times ever in my life, and I just kind of picked it up a couple months ago, and this kind of felt natural to me. But I know there's a lot of guys in this series that are really fast and really experienced, and a lot of veterans that so generously share their setups, and I knew that it would be challenging for me to make my way to the front. I never really even was hoping to achieve that in my first season, but here I am. It was great because I've had a couple podiums in the past, but they were a little bit due to some lucky circumstances that happened in front of me that I was in the right place at the right time. But none of that really happened here except for some shenanigans with lap traffic, but that happened behind me after I had already taken the lead. So this one feels amazing. This feels really good.
Now, I'm very curious whenever a new track shows up on the schedule here. I believe this is the first time Grand Prix Legends have raced here. What's your assessment on how this is with the Lotus 49? It looks like it's a lot of fun.
It is. One of my favorite things about this car is how there are certain parts of tracks that you don't usually perceive as anything other than a straightaway that isn't quite straight. But a straightaway that isn't quite straight in this car is a turn. And that is the case for certainly the back straightaway and a lot of the little short shoots between the corners where normally in whatever car you're driving you just kind of stand on the gas pedal. But in this car I'm short shifting down the whole back straightaway just to keep it pointed the right way. It's fantastic. It's honestly really fun. Definitely no chicane is the way to go. IMSA Vintage ran here a couple weeks ago, and I think it was a little chaotic, just with the differences in lap in pace between the cars was extreme, and the laps are so short. But this feels really good here, really good.
Well, that's really telling. I didn't realize you guys were short shifting down the back straightaway. Now that you've finally gotten that win, does this open the floodgates for you, or do you think you're going to still have to work pretty hard against some of these fast drivers?
I still think I'm going to be working pretty hard. I don't think I'm going to be super duper regular win contender, but I think this is. I didn't really realize this is our first time here, so that probably helped me out a little bit. I got to figure out those starts. That's gonna be a big piece of the puzzle. This track was not super challenging to pass on. If you got within a tenth or two of the car in front of you going onto the front straightaway, there's only so much they could do. But say if we were at a track like Hungaroring, we were a couple weeks ago, and that's a track that's much harder to pass on. So I gotta dial in those starts, and I'm sure as we come to tracks that you guys have raced at before, I'll be back to battling to stay inside the top 5.
Well, again, congratulations. That was our winner, Henry Maurice, finally getting his first win of his Grand Prix Legends career. Up next, I do believe that Ryan has caught up with Nicola Kaki, who chased Henry the whole way.
I am indeed, and Nikolai finishing in second and being in battle for the win for most of the race. Nikolai, how was that? That looked intense.
Oh yeah, hi guys. That was really intense.
Yeah, I mean, basically seeing you in the lead earlier on in the race, it looked like when Henry got by you, did you have any change of strategy or mindset when he went by you, or was it just the same plan as usual, trying to take the lead back?
No, I didn't want to do the same mistake I did on Redwood Ring, which I was just start fighting whatever I had the chance, basically. This time, when I saw the guy behind falling down a little bit, I wanted to do something different because I knew I could fight Henry. Basically, once every couple laps maybe. But if we were going to start fighting, the guy behind will catch like in no time. So I didn't want to give them the chance to actually fight with us. So I was just chilling behind Henry, which is a very fast driver, by the way. I wasn't very, I wasn't pushing only on the last part of the straight, but I was pushing the whole race. I was not just going to use the toe. Basically, when I was going to catch him because of the toe, I will just like left, because I wanted to Henry to keep his pace and grow the gap, or at least keep the gap with the guy behind, which worked. But on the last laps, I tried to get closer to him, but the car wasn't very happy. I think I had a little slide in the worst place ever, and I tried to be as close as possible, but he was very composed with this car. Did little to no mistakes. And I couldn't stay close enough to actually attack on the last lap. So it's fine. It's congratulations to him, and I'm still happy with the placement anyway.
And for a first time racing at racing at Portland for the first time of these Lotus 49s, how did you? What is your view of the track and the car combination? Would you like to see the track return to the 49s next season?
Well, I think this track fits this car very well. I mean, it looks like a very old track, one of those tracks that were going to race back in the day in the 60s. But I don't like the track, to be honest. It's too slidey. I really struggled. I tried a million setup this week, and nothing worked basically. But the only thing that could allow me to be up there is because everybody had the same problems basically, and I knew for sure that Jorge and Mick were going to be faster, and but not by much. And but yeah, I don't really like this kind of track when the car is too slidey. It's a little bit of a challenge who drive the slowest to be faster, basically. And I would like to. I'm more on the opposite side of it. I would like to have a track that you can actually push the car every lap, and and be on the edge, no matter what.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on the second place, Nicola. And look forward to seeing you on the ovals, the oval track at Phoenix next weekend.
Thank you. I will not be there. I'm not driving oval. I'm a terrible oval driver, so I will just watch from the stands the whole race, and I think I can be back on the race after the oval, and I will miss at least two race in August. So my championship, I knew from the start it was going to be very very high in the charts, but that's okay. We are racing for fun, not because of medals. Bye.
That was the second place finisher, Nicola Cocky, joining us, and I believe up next, Joe, we've got a third place finisher, Mick Claridge.
Indeed we do. Mick, that was an impressive recovery. First of all, can you expand a bit on what cost you in qualifying, and then tell us what happened into turn one, because we never quite saw that either.
Qualifying. Well, basically, I have to go back sort of in the middle of the week. I've had black screens of death in my VR, and I've just had to stove the car in. Basically, the same as what happened at MoTV. My headset's just started to die again. So I've been trying to sort it out. Jorge's been helping me on Discord. Seb, Nick, everyone's been trying to help me. Try this, try that, try this, try that. I've reinstalled iRacing again today, and then got everything sorted. It was about 2:15. Race starts in 15 minutes. I'm trying to get all the buttons ready, all the windows in the right place, trying to get everything sorted. Great, got it. Got my brake pedal sorted by sheer luck. Headed out into the race server, did the practice, and then headed out in qualifying. And I thought I was doing really well. I thought I was a man doing really well, Joe, in qualifying. And then I looked at my lap time, and it was 1:04.4, and I thought, what? I know swearing's not allowed in the server. So yeah, then went back into the garage, and it was it would auto-loaded the baseline setup with like 53 laps of fuel in it. So that was that. So then yeah, sorted it out. Got out on track for the start, and then I was sort of caught behind John Olsen a bit, and turn one I just missed my brake marker and just sailed off, because it's really easy to do, especially if you can't see the curb on the left. But the moment at the end of the lap with John, I think John missed the marker, and I think he chose the wrong number, because you got to brake right on the 500, and I think he probably chose the 400, and I just followed him straight through, so he just went sailing off, and that really finished my race off for the win. If I hadn't done that, I reckon I could have been there for the win. Today I was doing really well. I was so fast today, really pleased with my pace. But more than anything else, I'm pleased with the computer. It stayed running.
I mean, that's always the big part. But I'm curious, has it been difficult trying to keep the computer running with so much water around at Tuvalu?
Do you know what? The sea level's so high. I mean, when I turned up there the other day, and I said to the guys at the airport, I said, I'm representing you guys. They already, they handed me the ceremonial key to the shed behind the library there in the high street, and I was like sitting there, living it up in Tuvalu. Went to a couple of bars, and yeah, it's all good. It's all good, mate. It's all good. And do you know what? Not beyond the realms of possibilities that I might go there if I end up in that part of the world on a two-wheeled machine called a bike.
might need a few flotation devices to get there. But,
yeah. You could get, you can get a direct flight from Fiji. I didn't know that. Yeah. So let's all do an iRacing reunion. Tuvalu.
Okay. Well, again, impressive drive. What you did climbing up through the field today to get onto the podium, and best of luck over on the oval.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Well, we're Phoenix next week, aren't we? Yeah, cheers. Let me just say, I just got to say hello to 3 people, and I want you, Joe, to join in with this, and I want Ryan, because I know Ryan's listening and he's on board with this. We've got to say the Mackenzie boys mantra. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Don't mess with the Mackenzie boys.
Don't mess with the Mackenzie boys.
We're all so very good at synchronization.
We nailed it, man. We nailed it. There you guys.
All right, that was Mick Claridge having as good a time as always here, finishing third today. Real quick, though, Ryan is caught up with a driver that has returned after a little bit of injury. It's Laust Olsen.
Yeah, Laust Olsen returning to the series, and quick finish in the top 10 with a 7th place finish. And first of all, Laust, nice to see you back.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be back again. Luckily, the healing process has gone a lot faster this year than last year, despite the injuries being same proportion. So I feel lucky to be back so fast.
Yeah, how did it? Excuse me. How did it feel to be back after your injuries as well? Did you struggle? Did you struggle halfway through the race or towards the end of the race, or did you feel okay?
I'm feeling okay right now. I will probably feel it a little bit later this evening or tomorrow, but right now it's going quite okay. So despite being rusty, it's been great to be back.
And this Portland track as well, do you think it suited the 49 for the first time?
Yeah, it's a fun track to drive in the 49, and especially the backstretch or straight is quite challenging in this car, because it's just not easily full throttle all the way. So it really requires delicate steering or a little bit feathering of the throttle. So it's quite challenging.
And as we look ahead to next week as well, they headed to the oval track that's at Phoenix. Do you think it's going to suit the 49s as well? But also as well, do you think that it will require anything different, mindset, strategy, that sort of thing?
It's a lot more laps, so I hope it won't be too hard on my shoulder. But the ovals tend to be quite fun in the 49 also, so I'm looking forward to that one too.
Well, yeah, congratulations on your top 10 result there, Laus, and again, great to see you back, and hopefully we'll see you around for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks.
As that was Laus Olsen, the 7th place finisher, joining us, and yeah, great to see him back, Joe, and also in general today, I think it was a great race, and yeah, the battle for the win going down to the final lap.
Gave us some great entertainment, without a doubt. So before we go, we once again want to thank the community for bringing us back for another season of coverage, as well as a big thanks to our team today, Ryan, Christian, and Dougie. Make sure to check out our social media, website, and merchandise store, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a moment. Like we said, next race is going to be a little bit different, as we're going to our traditional oval that we do once a season here in GPL. That'll be Phoenix this time around, Saturday, July 26th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. However, later today, we'll go into a different oval, but on the road course. The IMSA Vintage Series goes to Homestead at 1 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to check out our other broadcasts that we have listed here. And until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.
This is iRacing.